This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Griffin, Indiana 19. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now, let's just say the first time I took a look at this map before I recorded this video, the only two words that could come to my mind, well, were holy and a word that started with shh. But for the purpose of this video, we'll just substitute that word with cow. I have to say this map author has truly captured, in my opinion, the quintessential rural America. With that, let's go ahead and jump on in to the description. It says, now you are the proud owner of a small farm located around Griffin, Indiana, USA. The equipment is old and in need of repairs. Luckily, there is a workshop in the shed to make the repairs. With hard work and a little luck, you'll be able to expand the farm. This map has 62 farmlands and 36 fields, with a total of 212 hectares available on this highly detailed map. Now, when not farming, you can try your hand at forestry or ride your horse or ATV on one of the many trails in the area. Get lost, just look for trailhead signs along the way. Now, there is a warning, and I'm really curious about this, and I would love to hear you all give some feedback in the description. It says, be careful not to wander too deep into the forest at night. Been rumors of Bigfoot activity, so that's kind of interesting. This map features precision farming ready, so this map does have a custom soil map. This map also has a seasons mask, real soil data to make up the custom soil map, real terrain data for your rolling hills and fields, custom sounds, riding trails, a forest area, biogas plant, contracts on fields and transport, vehicle traffic, pedestrian traffic, a train, although don't ride the train because there's really no need to ride the train, and it doesn't kick you out when you get at the edge of the map, so just don't ride the train. Lime and fuel station, standard crops, all standard sale locations, 62 farmlands, as I said, 36 fields, and well, the list just keeps going on and on. So let's just cut to the chase and get on into this map and let you all see what I have been raving over. So we're going to go ahead and pick up mods that we typically use, such videos as this. Pull up the log. I will say if you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, the farm that you start out with is barren other than some deco items, but all of the farm buildings are not built out. In addition, you do not start with any equipment in Farm Manager or start from scratch. And let's just take a look at this view. So off in the distance, we have the town. And we're just looking here at our back porch. This is also where our sleep trigger is located. And this is kind of the second map, second American map to get released that is using this building. And, well, starts you out here at the back door. An intriguing and interesting thought. Now, this map does include custom grass textures, as you can see here. Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and take a look at the map. So if we zoom on out, you'll see that the lower half of the map, for the most part, is town and arable crops, whereas where we start, up here in the north half of the map, is mostly grass and forest. If we take a look at the lands area, you'll see we start out by owning 3 viable plots. We have the main farm here for $401,000. We have a grass area here for $700,000, and then we have field 1 for $322,000. Now, speaking of the northern areas, you can see that we have quite the variety of forest areas in size and shape available to purchase. So this kind of the northern section of the map is a bit no man's land, Alien Gym-esque, if you will, because most of it is laid out in squares or half squares, rectangles, if you will. So some of the forest prices, 281,000, 251, sorry, 97,000, 219, 74,000. We got a little bit of grass up here, 69,000. Field 33 tucked away here in the forest, 271. Oh my gosh, $272,000. Then we get down here, the big fields. So field 9, $1.7 million, 25.5 hectares in size. Field 22, $800,000. Now, when I saw this field, looks like we have one big field separated up into 4 chunks. I was like, oh my gosh, how's he going to do that? That's going to be a pain. Well, we're going to see. There's actually kind of roads here that separate this up into 4 quadrants, but very easily you could plow this under and make it one big field should you so wish. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at that custom soil map. So we've got quite the mix of loam, some silty clay, and sandy loam in there. Not a lot of loamy sand. Most of the map is loam as far as the fields go. Now, the field we own up here at the start has a bit of silty clay, loam, and sandy loam. We have several sell points on the map, but many of them are very, very specific for what they take. We have 2 main sell points for the bulk of our arable crops. The Cozy County Co-op is going to accept our root crops. The Cozy Wool Spinnery is for our cotton and wool. We do have multiple egg sell points. We have a dairy area for our milk. We do have a wood chip sell point at HG Mills or Miles. This is actually the biogas plant. So we do have a sawmill that is going to accept our lumber, our logs, but the wood chips are going to be accepted over at our biogas plant. O'Connor Farm, if we don't own the biogas plant, is going to accept our silage, whereas Buckley Farm is going to accept our straw, hay, and grass. You have the Garden Center, which is going to accept our manure. Elder Farm is going to accept our slurry. And then if we do have straw harvest enabled, well, then you get Buckley Farm also. Now let's take a look at that starting equipment. And as the description says, oh, this is some old stuff and some rundown stuff. It is going to need some repair, which means it has pretty low resale value. So you're not going to basically get a lump of cash at the start by selling off the starting equipment. You're going to have to repair this and, well, work your way up if you're going to do it the hard way. Now, again, if you start on Farm Manager or start from scratch, this equipment is not here. So you do have some money injected, $1.25 million or $500,000 to put toward land and equipment. You have contracts on the map, and we do not have any animals at the start. So let's go ahead and take a look at that old and rundown equipment. So we have the Fiat 1300 DT, 150 horsepower. We have the New Holland TX32 harvester, and it is paired with the 32 grain header. We have our old 1978 pickup truck, 262 operating hours. We've got the HW80 trailer. We have the Polymag 300 cultivator, the D830 seeder, and a chicken coop as far as our animal areas. We've got a grain silo, easy shed, workshop, and some other decorative buildings, as well as our farmhouse. So with that, if we take a look at the placeables, you're going to see that we have the chicken coop. We have pretty much standard everything else. This is showing up Easy Shed as a mod, but really it's just the in-game Easy Shed and our farmhouse. Let's take a look around the farm here. Right outside our farmhouse, we do have basically the base game chicken coop. Since it is a mod, listed as a mod, the animal pen extension isn't coming up with respect to the fact that this could be set up for water. That's okay. We've got our food. Got our chicken buy point here. 100 chickens. And then our egg spawn point. Got our grain silo. We've got our dump. And our fill triggers, respectively, on the left and right. We have our workshop here under the shed. And these are some of the decorative bits that remain if we should sell this building, or if we start in Farm Manager or start from scratch. Some of our equipment. And that, guys, is pretty much the starting farmhouse, starting farmyard. Come out here to the main road. Mailbox. And then across the street. This is that big open grass area that we have at the start. And then we have field 1 just down the street from our location. Let's go ahead and get up for that fly around. Here we have our starting field, right and ready for planting. Then this big open grass area. When I saw this building over here, the first thing I thought was, oh, a horse pasture. But no, it's just a decorative building. It would be cool if this was set up to be a horse pasture that we could buy. But it is what it is. It's just a decorative building here on some of the land that we own at the start. It is a pretty cool looking building nonetheless. So let's go ahead and get down here and take a look at it. I'm going to stash some bales in there. Stash some equipment underneath here. Really cool looking shed. Now I do see some lights, but I don't see an active light switch, so I suppose that they are on a timer. Then, as the description said, we've got forest and trails. So let's go ahead and kind of take a look at this. We'll get a little bit of altitude. Trails through here. And this is a cool little spot. We've got a little bit of a kind of a cabin off here in the woods. Now, I don't know if this is Bigfoot or this is just someone else who's got a little cabin out here, but got a really nice fire cooking. I'll leave the Bigfoot exploration up to you guys, but we can get some other looks. So here we have field 36. More of the grass areas here to the north, and then we can just look kind of across the map, the south, riding trails. One of our sell points over here. We're going to take a closer look at all the sell points as we do our drive around. Oh, we got a oil wellhead. Look at this. Farmer is getting a little black gold up out of the ground. So then we have the town. We've got a baseball field, and the bulk of our sell points are going to be scattered around town. biogas plant. See our wood chip pile down there. Going to be more random sell points, and we're going to point these all out during our proper drive around. Local church and a school across the street from the church here. I want to kind of loop back up here. Got this little area here. This is buyable land, and it is set up with an easy shed. This could be, you didn't want to start up there with your starting farm. If you wanted to start from scratch, possibly you could start down here in this little house and make use of this shed and this field kind of as your starting point. There's another possible kind of starting point that we'll point out to you later on. We want to go over here and just get some eyes on this area, because this area really is done up nice. Got a little pond down here. And then the trailhead. Trail comes down to the water. Some rocks, and then we can just make our way up the trail. Rocks going on here. We can continue making our way up the trail. But here we have one of those trail signs. I'm sure are scattered around the forest and the trails. Just look across this. Look across this view. Really nice view. So this is that field that I mentioned that it's split up into 4 quadrants. You can see how it'd be very easy to merge these all into one field if you owned them all. And at this point, really you just got arable. The flat part of the map, if you will, is the arable fields and the town. Go ahead and kind of make our way back to the vehicle shop. Remember where it is? Okay, here it is. That's where we're going to get our Mahindra and, well, drive around the place. Here we are at ajFarmer Equipment. We have our shop trigger at the front door, and we have our repair, customize, and trade trigger here on the side. Go ahead and make use of the shop trigger. Get that Mahindra. We have our vehicle spawn point. So we've got some decent area here for vehicles to spawn in. Fairly wide access road to get out of the shop. Nice details like the mailbox there for the shop. We have a bulk lime silo in here by the railroad tracks. And then one of our sell points right here at the shop. And this is the Posey County Co-op. It's going to be one of the sell points for the bulk of our grains and root crops. Across the street, across Main Street, off of South Center Street. We have another sell point. This is our grocery store. Grocer. And I think they're going to be set up to accept eggs here at the loading dock. And then I believe this is going to be our dairy. We have the supermarket and then the dairy for our milk. Further down South Central Street, we have the animal dealer. Of course, right now all we do is have the chickens, so we can buy chickens down here at the animal dealer. If we had other animal areas, of course we could buy those also. Continuing on, we have the sawmill for the selling of our logs. Right here, nice ambient sounds. Now, I don't know if y'all could hear the sounds when we were in the forest. I forgot to mention it, but we had a little bit of like a cicada sound going on. Pretty cool. Drainage pipe there. And then we have our final sell point down here on Central Street, which is Buckley Farm. And Buckley Farm is set up to take our straw, hay, grass, and pellets. When we get back to Main Street, we'll head south. Oh, apparently we also own Field 21. I didn't even notice that down there in the southeast. Now here we have our spinnery. For selling of our wool and cotton. Got a bit of a back road alley here. We'll head over here to Uncle Pete's Excellent Diner, which is likely going to be another sell point for our eggs. Really like how this building's been set up. We've got the classic diner there, and then behind it we have building set up for the expanded seating and kitchen area. And within the fenced area, we then have our sell trigger, our buy trigger. And we have another kind of access back road, alleyway here, whatever you want to call it. Fuel station. Tidal View Motel. I sure hope you're not finding a Tidal View in Indiana. All right, the world has got some major problems. Let's take our time cruising down Main Street. Again, there is a train that will traverse the map here. It is rideable if you want to tab to it, but I wouldn't tab to it because there isn't really any reason to. There's no dump stations or anything. So don't put green in the train. I don't believe that there's a way to get it out. Here we are at the biogas plant. We've got our scale. Always nice when we have sheds for the BGA specific equipment. Digester in our digestate. Come on around here, we have three-sided silage bunkers. Go ahead and take a look at those. Trigger 1. And number 2. You have to come inside a little bit to get to those. You blanket that. You can expect the blanket to not quite come to the edge of the wall. Then we have our wood chip cell point here. And a bit of a bioheating area. This is where we are going to, this is going to be the garden center, I believe. Take a closer look. Garden center, and that is where you can sell your manure and only manure. Over here at the water, what I'm guessing is the water treatment plant. We have a water trigger. As well as the water tower to supply good water pressure to the rest of town. We can buy water. And then on a nice summer's day or evening, come on up here to the ballpark and participate in America's favorite pastime. Even have pedestrians walking through the stands. Pretty cool. Now, this is the other possible area that I mentioned is possibly being a viable farm, playable farm area. It is also set up to be a sell point to sell slurry to. But you can see we've got some easy sheds set up here. So you could buy this, put a sleep trigger down, and use it as a basis of operations also. Take a look at how the land on this one comes into play. So area 30 is $778,000. This is the other area I talked about, $166,000. Go on in cab and drive on up to our last sell point. It's a little ways out of town. Oh, we got another oil hood. Guess maybe this guy is the wealthy guy with the oil. Let's take a look around in cab. Indeed, the way the map is just generally set up, the southern part, half of the map, southern 2/3 of the map is fairly flat. Not necessarily completely flat, but fairly flat. And then the northern half of the map, or part of the map, does indeed have some hilly terrain to it. Got kind of a recessed fields on either side of the road here. I'm gonna drive up there. I'm curious where that goes. And it had a mailbox, so maybe there's a... That's where Bigfoot lives. Not sure about that now. Let me have this intriguing structure, which I assume is our second main grain sell point on the map. See, that is None Better Milling, and they are our second grain sell point. Looking at how the forest is worked there, that's really, really nice. Figure out where this thing goes. I've got a wee bit of curiosity. It's coming up here. Oh, this is that... I saw this earlier. This is that house. Oh my gosh. This is so cool. I mean, maybe this is the guy with the oil. Look at that. He's got a fresh new deck. Above ground pool. Tree house. Look at this. This guy's got the living. He's got the land up here on the hill. An amazing view if those trees weren't there. Trees are there, so he's got himself some privacy. Kid's got a trampoline. Oh my gosh, you remember when you were a kid? Give anything to have a trampoline? Or the popular kid in the area that had a trampoline. Tree house. Oh my gosh, this dude is rolling in it. So guys, that is it. That is Griffin, Indiana 19. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the map? I have to tell you, I am hugely impressed. Hugely impressed. Came on the map, really not expecting much. Didn't really know anything about the map other than that it was in testing last week, and now it's released. And all I can say is, holy cow. Let me know your impressions in the comments. And until next time, happy farming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.